A reading from the Gospel of Matthew. Jesus said, "See, I am sending you out like sheep into the midst of wolves. So be wise as serpents and innocent as doves. Beware of them, for they will hand you over to councils and flog you in their synagogues, and you will be dragged before governors and kings because of me, as a testimony to them and the Gentiles. When they hand you over, do not worry about how you are to speak or what you are to say, for what you are to say will be given to you at that time, for it is not you who speak, but the Spirit of your Father speaking through you. Brother will betray brother to death, and a father his child, and children will rise against their parents and have them put to death, and you will be hated by all because of my name. But the one who endures to the end will be saved. When they persecute you in one town, flee to the next, for truly I tell you, you will not have gone through all the towns of Israel before the Son of Man comes." Jesus continues in his instruction to his disciples as he sends them out. He's gathered them, he has sent them out in his name, and he has given them that single command: you are to go into the world proclaiming the good news that the kingdom of heaven has drawn near. He then goes on and teases that out a bit for them and gives them instructions on how they are to travel. They're to travel light, and they are to sit lightly to the results of their proclamation. He says it's not for you to worry about who accepts this and who doesn't accept it. You're just to proclaim this, and if someone accepts you and brings you in, then you're to dwell with them and live in that peace and in that harmony. And if they reject you, you're simply to brush the dust off your feet and move on. He then continues with more details about what to do in case you're harassed, if you're beaten and flogged and taken in front of the courts and denounced. You're not to worry about it. He says, because you are to be confident that God is with you. Not only is Jesus's spirit and Jesus's encouragement with them, but he says you don't even have to worry about what to say for yourself, because the words will be given to you by your Father. Interestingly, he doesn't say my Father, but your Father in heaven will give you the words, the Spirit of your Father. So this combination of pragmatism, be wise as serpent and gentle as doves, and if things aren't going well, simply cut bait and move on, don't worry about it. Pragmatic, but also mystical, and the confidence that God's Spirit is with us whenever we are about the business of proclaiming God's kingdom. It must have been intimidating to the 12 being sent out with that set of, in case this happens, do that. It sounds like it would have intimidated me or made me think twice about having accepted this assignment. And yet we know from the fact that all 12 did in fact go out, that there must have been something so compelling about what they witnessed in their life with Jesus, in his teaching, in his healing, in their community together, that they were able to, despite Jesus's very realistic assessment of what they would face, to go out anyway. That's how much the good news was welling up in their hearts and overflowing from them in their lives, that they wanted to share that with others. Now, you and I are not likely to be facing, if you're living in Chicago or the surrounding area, you're not likely to be facing physical persecution or political persecution for your Christian beliefs. But there might be others around us who are experiencing that sort of intimidation for their religious beliefs. And we would do well to remember that and to be of assistance to folks who are facing that kind of persecution. And we would do well to remember that there are Christians around the world in different contexts who are facing this kind of intimidation. And if they have the courage to face that sort of intimidation that is physical and takes their life sometimes or brings them political consequences, Jesus sent us out, even in the face of that, to be faithful and to be joyful and to be confident and to sit light to the results of our proclamation. But he calls us most of all to be faithful. If others who have faced these and who do currently face these physical persecutions have the courage to proclaim something of their life of faith and their confidence that the kingdom of heaven has drawn near, if they can do that, I'm sure that we can find the ways to face and counter whatever fears we might have about sharing with people in our lives what it is that we've witnessed in Jesus's presence amongst us, what it is that motivates us to be people of faith, sharing that good news, proclaiming however we can and in whatever authentic way we can, what it has meant to us to encounter the living Christ in community and shared with others, sharing that proclamation out into the world that God is here, God is with us, and God seeks and desires for all to share in the peace and the love and the kingdom of heaven that draws us all into one. May God give you the strength and courage to be a bearer of the gospel in this day and always. Amen.